All right, so we're gonna take a look at the Google Pixel 6 so that you guys know what to expect if you do decide to purchase one of these. Inside the box, you're gonna get a Type-C charging cable, as well as this Type-C adapter to help you transfer your files over from your old phone. And then lastly, you're gonna get your paperwork and a SIM eject tool. So this is the phone. As you can see on the back, you have that dual camera setup featuring an ultra wide camera and a wide angle camera. On the right side, you have your power button as well as your volume rocker. And then on the bottom, you have your charging port and your speakers. So you have a 6.4-inch OLED display with a 90 Hz refresh rate. So navigating the phone is going to give you a very smooth experience. And then as far as the overall image quality, I think the colors look great. So any movies, videos, or games are going to look very vibrant. And speaking of games, that 90 Hz refresh rate is going to hold up fairly well in most situations. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the cameras. So you have a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera and a 50 megapixel wide angle camera. So no telephoto camera. If that's something you're looking for, you will have to go for the Google Pixel 6 Pro. And then you also have an 8 megapixel front facing camera. So here we have a couple examples using the front facing camera. I think the colors look great and I really like how it handles my skin tone. As far as video, with the front facing camera, you have up to 1080 at 30 frames per second. So unfortunately no 4K. And again, if that's something that you're looking for, you would have to go for the Pixel 6 Pro. On the rear camera, you do get 4K up to 60 frames per second. So here we have an example of that. And this is using the standard stabilization, which I think does a pretty good job. And here we have another example of the 4K 60. And this is just me walking handheld with standard stabilization, which again, I think it does a very good job. Now let's take a look at some photos that were captured using the main camera. So overall, I was very pleased with the images. Having those 50 megapixels does provide a lot of detail, especially if you're going to be doing any sort of cropping after the fact. But where I really think this camera shines is at night. The nighttime photos came out excellent. They give you that very dynamic nighttime look. It keeps the shadows nice and dark while still keeping everything else highly visible. So that's my brief overview of the Google Pixel 6.